Somehow, someway, we have found ourselves talking about Final Fantasy IX, its remake and related projects, because some information has recently come to light about the Final Fantasy IX animated series, and it's certainly got me interested, and it forever stirs the pot of if we are getting a Final Fantasy IX remake. So in today's video, we're going to be talking all about it. So with that being said, what is up guys, Jen here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. If you enjoy the content you are seeing, please consider hitting that like button, and if you want to stick around for some more Final Fantasy content, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. Now, reading some of this stuff has certainly got me excited, and it could be indeed very epic, but not as epic as saving money on thousands of Steam games. I know, what a segue, but bear with me because it's worth your time, because thanks to our sponsor Instant Gaming, you can save money on the latest and upcoming games at incredible prices. And not only that, they have given us the opportunity to give away a free game of your choice. And this is going to be happening every month, so please click on those links down below. So, Final Fantasy IX and its animated series. Now, if we digged deeper enough, a couple of years ago, we would have found this information because it's already been out there. But as of recently, we have had a presentation document that has appeared. Now, I'm not going to show any of the images, but I'm certainly going to read you from these slides. If you do enough digging, you'll be able to find it for yourself. But essentially, this is not a prequel of what I thought and what I would have liked, but this is a sequel. This takes place 10 years after Final Fantasy IX. Now, it's important to note, because I know that there is a lot of speculation with the studio being sold. There's a lot of misinformation out there, but there is still a chance of this happening, as there are acquisition offers on the studios, I think, but it's all up in the air. But there is a chance. It's not dead and buried just yet. And it seems like this document came out along the time where people were getting behind the scenes previews that we heard about a couple of years ago. So bear that in mind when we talk about all of this. But this is Final Fantasy IX Black Mage's Legacy. This is going to be an epic adventure with a hint of comedy. There's going to be 13 half-hour episodes that are serialized, and the target audience is older kids and family co-viewing. But you know, Final Fantasy IX fans are going to be watching this too, and apparently it was going to be a 3D/2D animation. And I gotta say, looking at some of these concept arts for the locations and the Black Mages here, I am very interested, and I really do hope that it's going to happen. So what is this anime going to be all about? We know it's called The Black Mage's Legacy. Well, we're going to be following Mel, Colm, Luciola, Thea, Fala, and Doc, because they are the last Black Mages of the 4 continents. They are the children of the great hero Vivi, who once defeated the forces alongside Zidane and Queen Garnet. Today, the siblings live happily in the city of Alexandria, watched over by its friendly and sometimes curious inhabitants. But unfortunately, their peaceful existence will come to an abrupt end when Colm finds Mel frozen like a statue inside the inn where he works. Who on earth would want to hurt Mel? Everybody loved him. Could it be their father's tragic legacy resurfacing? Who cares? We have to save Mel. Our heroes must leave immediately in search of a cure of their brother, which means they'll have to quit the cozy cocoon of Alexandria for the first time in their lives and discover the vast world around them. Quite the synopsis here, and it's really interesting that they're going to be diving deeper into the Black Mages because they are quite a focus in Final Fantasy IX. So I am indeed really interested. Though it's not in this synopsis, this is supposed to take place 10 years after the events of Final Fantasy IX, and it appears that Vivi isn't around. There's not very much mentions of the OG cast, so it seems to be like a separate entity but set in the same universe. So I'm definitely down to more of an in-depth look of the Black Mages. Now, this document is absolutely full to the brim of information, and I'm not going to go over to every single bit of it because, to be honest, it's really good reading material. We're just going to go over some of the prominent points here to get ourselves excited, and the fact that we're talking about this still potentially happening gives me faith for that Final Fantasy IX remake. So I want to read a couple of things that really gets this story started. Apparently it all starts with a nightmare. Our story begins with Lucolia having a nightmare premonition. In panic, she heads into the Alexandria slums and buys a mysterious object. She is discreetly followed by her brother Colm, but he agrees to keep her secret. That evening, an acrobat called Inori arrives at the inn with her troupe to put on a puppet show. The morning after, Mel is found inert, trapped in a crystal. Even worse, Lucolia, the only sibling that knows crystal magic, has gone missing. Who could have done such a terrible thing, and did Lucolia have something to do with it? So many questions of this journey, but we then leave the nest. Luckily, Inori knows someone that can create a cure to save Mel. She offers to take the siblings to meet her mentor, the mysterious Professor Gustav. For the first time, Vivi's children must leave their cozy nest. We've gone over this in the synopsis, but this is going into a little bit more detail. Doc, Thea, and Fala will make the trip with Inori. Since Colin has no magic powers, he must stay behind in Alexandria. So it's really interesting to know that some of the black mages have like magical powers, crystal magic, and some don't. So it's really diving into the lore of the black mages, of which they only, I believe, scratched the surface in Final Fantasy IX. But with a heavy heart, Colin watches his siblings leave for their adventure, but as he soon realized, the real adventure is yet to begin and is about to come knocking at his door. There are some definitely interesting tidbits here that really add to the lore of Final Fantasy IX. I'm really interested to see where it goes and if it actually happens, because this has just caught me off guard and gets me a little bit excited. I would be down for watching a sequel anime of Final Fantasy IX. I mean, there's so many other characters. There's Sai, the knight with a spoon, who is a child who grew up in the slums of Treno. There's Chloe, the fiery inventor, who grew up in Alexandria in the Edgecry Coast district, which is sounding really cool. There seems to be more districts in Alexandria now that it's all been rebuilt. I'm sure that they'll probably dive into the rebuilding of Alexandria. There's also Pitto, the hippo musician. We've of course gone over Inori, the puppeteer. It's nice to see that there's still theatre troupes going around the world of Gaia. But there's an interesting backstory to Inori, because like the evil Kuja, Inori is a genome. She was actually the first genome prototype built, but she was discarded due to defects. She was considered too soft. After the defeat of Kuja, Inori was abandoned in the desert, left alone like a lost child. There's also Oz, the dark minstrel, who is a knight from Brumesia. There's Lewis, the pyromaniac walrus, who is a member of the Iron Lady Guild. And then there's Professor Gustav, the Iron Lady, the leader of the guild and a brilliant scientist who looks like they have more than meets the eye and probably could be our antagonist in this animated series. They then go over some of the locations that they'll be visiting. There's obviously Alexandria, there's the Edgecry Coast and the Magic Hat, which is a tavern owned by Master Pampania. They talk about the Alexandria slums, the Cursed Forest, which we're all familiar with from Final Fantasy IX, as now as it stands as half of it being covered in stone. There's Dali Village being mentioned here, and then they've got loads of concept art of airships that it looks like our band of black mages will be traveling across in, and a few concept arts of locations as well. So all in all, like, this is, I think, significant news. The fact that it's been around since 2022, 2023 means that this has had a lot of thought and effort been put into it. But because of what's happening with the studio at the moment, it's in limbo between places, but it's not completely dead yet. So I'm really excited to see where it goes. And it really does look like that this was going to accompany, or still could be accompanying, a Final Fantasy IX remake, and could explain why we've not heard anything about the game. But that's just down to my own speculation. Now I hand the floor over to you. Is this something you'd like to see? Would you have preferred a prequel series to Final Fantasy IX? Or do you like the sound of this sequel series of Final Fantasy IX following the legacy of the Black Mages? Because it's definitely piqued my interest and I would really like to see this. And if this is going to happen, or maybe now it won't, now that it's come to light because this documentation was supposed to just be given to select investors, who knows? Who knows? But I will cover anything Final Fantasy IX, and again, it adds to the pot of will we be getting a Final Fantasy IX remake. So I appreciate your time. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit Instant Gaming for the latest games at incredible prices. And until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.